Hey, Ethan here, and in this episode we'll be looking at Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 for primarily the Xbox 360. It's the 2010 sequel to one of 2008's best action games, and it's also one of my personal favorite Star Wars games. And now I think it's time for me to explain some more. So, after LucasArts released Star Wars The Force Unleashed in September of 2008, it was revealed sometime later at the Spike Video Game Awards that they are planning on making a sequel for all platforms besides the PSP. It was then later released on October 26, 2010 in North America, and that's basically all I know about the game's exact development. Yeah, I remember I beat this game a long time ago, and I remember this game being a lot longer than it actually is. Up until this episode, I have not fully played the game all the way through since my first initial playthrough about 10 years ago, so I think it's time for me to finally talk about the sequel. Okay, so the story takes place roughly about 6 months after the events of the first game and before the events of episode 4. You do play as Starkiller again, but this time it's a clone of Starkiller. Throughout the story, Starkiller's objective is to get away from Darth Vader and rescue Juno, his pilot from the first game, as he works with General Ram Koda from the first game during a war between the Rebels and the Empire, as he also tries to determine if he is a clone or something more, and ends up having Darth Vader arrested in the good ending, while other iconic Star Wars characters appear. And yeah, that's basically a rough outline of what the game's plot is. It can probably be beat in an afternoon. It's honestly that short, but has some good moments. The gameplay is basically the same as it was in the last game, but introduces a new combo system allowing you to chain two different kinds of attacks, and it also introduces the Jedi Mind Trick to trick enemies and this Force Rage ability that allows you to use Starkiller's Force abilities to their full potential. It also introduces these big robots, these guys who are unaffected by Force powers, and these spider-like creatures being the most notable additions. You can also change your lightsaber color and costumes and upgrade your force powers just like in the first game. It also has these other challenges in the main menu, and there is also other story DLC, but I haven't tried either of them. Well, that is basically Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 for, again, the Xbox 360. It's honestly one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time. I personally think the original is better, but the second game isn't that bad, even though it's really short. It didn't really add a whole lot new to the series, but it's still a fun time, and definitely feels like you're watching a Star Wars movie, or playing it perhaps. But I personally think that they really should have made a third game, but hey, maybe that's just me. But again, honestly, this game is really short.